Okay, who here hasn't been to space?
Why?
You better not throw up on my ship.
Approaching jump in 3, 2, 1.
House of Dragon is breaking records, and not just breaking records, it is destroying records right now. The opening of House of Dragon had 10 million viewers across all platforms.
Yeah, it did.
10 million viewers across all platforms.
Yeah, did.
You take Stranger Things, it doubled what Stranger Things did in its sixth episode, in its season. What season was that? Season 4.
Mm-hmm.
Season 4 for Stranger Things. It doubled the viewership of the first episodes that were dropped. So it's crazy. Yeah, those first 6 episodes. So it's crazy to look at what is going on with it, and the insanity does continue. Like I said, the Hollywood Reporter was talking about just what's going on with the show and everything like that. Now, I, as you know, did not watch Game of Thrones.
I
have seen episodes.
I've
of
also
Game of
not
Thrones,
seen Game
but
of
I did not
Thrones.
watch Game of Thrones. But I am a huge Matt Smith fan because, as I told you before we started filming, I watched The Crown. The Crown is one of my favorite shows, and I think Matt Smith does a great job in The Crown. So I like Matt Smith a lot. So seeing him in the trailers and then hearing the reviews that were going on for this, hearing all the good things that several YouTubers and several people that just outside of YouTube were saying about House of Dragon, and then also knowing that I did not have to watch Game of Thrones to fully understand what's going on in House of Dragon. I watched the first episode last night. After I finished taking my notes down for this live stream, I watched the first episode last night. Bro, that was some of the best, the absolute fucking best content I have watched in a
Shout
long
out Stamina
time.
MC for the $20 dono. Stamina MC.
Damn, bro. All right, now hold on. You're giving me hype about two things at once. I'm about to go in on this real fast. So
thank you again.
I will say this.
So dope, man.
First of all, for your, that was some of the best. There's 8 fucking seasons of pure good content.
I know.
You
I've
can
heard.
fucking watch.
I've heard.
It's the same shit, but I mean, all right. I've read the books. I've watched all the series. I've watched the fucking 3-hour videos on his goddamn lore and all that. I've done it. I love this series. Dance of Dragons, I've read it. I know what this series is about to go fucking off like Game of Thrones never did. Because this series is 150 years in time. We're talking, what you're seeing now is the heart of the Targaryen family reign. You are seeing multiple Targaryens. Whole goddamn fucking, you can actually have a room full of them.
Right.
Multiple dragons. I believe at this point they have 12. And they're hatching dragons at Dragonstone. That's where the Targaryen family goes to do it. And by the start of Game of Thrones, which is what this leads into, there are 2 Targaryens and no dragons left. Well, spoilers aside, there's 2 Targaryens, then within a couple episodes there's 1, and no dragons. This is the fall of a family. This is the fall of a dynasty. The fall of the greatest world superpower that ever lived. They came in, they took out the Andals, they took out the First Men, they pushed everybody back. I mean, the Targaryens knew no enemy. It's like having countries that can only throw rocks and we have nukes. They're, insane.
Right.
One dragon, Drogon, took out all of King's Landing in Game of Thrones by himself. Fuck around and find out about that. You know what I mean? And they have tons. And it's also just good that we get a lot of... They didn't forget their fans. Right. George R.R. Martin is heavily involved in this show. They got...
Yeah, they put $100 million into marketing.
But I'm saying it's a little but there's certain things that Game of Thrones fans you won't realize. Like when him and his daughter are talking, when he's asking Rhaenyra to become his heir. That dagger he has, it's one of the most important weapons in Game of Thrones. When he talks about, we had a dream the Targaryens will have born a child that will be the prince that was promised. We know who the prince that was promised was by the end of Game of Thrones. Right. So there's a lot of shit in there that is for us that love the series and la-da-da. But I like that it's intelligent enough that you can watch this and never having seen Game of Thrones.
Yeah, no, like I said, it was a great
Sorry, I'll
episode.
spaz every time we talk about this.
It was a great episode that I watched. Like I said, when I watch episodes, like when I'm watching a series or whatever like that, I felt, for one, the visual effects for me, it was so detailed. Everything was so detailed. It felt like a theatrical event. It felt it did, and then that's why I said when we were talking about too, when you take a Marvel show like She-Hulk, or you take any of the Marvel shows, not just She-Hulk, you take any of them, none of them can touch what House of Dragon or some of these other shows like Stranger Things, we've even said that.
I think
like,
that's kind of why everything we rank in Marvel, where it's like for Marvel in terms of Marvel base, because we know a lot of the stuff that's coming out in even some like when Netflix puts out something good, like is a lot better than what Marvel puts out.
Right, and
in terms of like just in terms of just content, plot wise, storytelling, and everything. It's I don't know. It's just like the Disney shows are good, but it's like they haven't figured out the formula for like everyone good.
Well,
it's like they're only trying to make like their fans happy or whatever. I don't even know if they're trying to do that.
Spoon feeding us. That's my big. Like it's so simple.
Agree.
It's a simple algorithm.
It's like they're scared to piss Disney off or some shit. I don't know.
But it's just like, okay, so Raymond 2000, he said he never got into Game of Thrones, so he didn't know how much he'd enjoy House of the Dragon.
This shit's different, dude. It's fast paced. I mean, we're seeing dudes get their heads busted in the first episode. Shit
no, bro,
wild.
listen. Okay, so there's a scene like That's why when I want to react to these, I want to do reaction videos to these because I'm one of those people where because last night I'm laying in bed watching this, right? And if I had been sitting here reacting to it, I would have been the exact same way. I'm laying in bed watching it, and when he had to make the decision whether or not, spoiler warning, whether or not to kill his wife and save the baby. Or kill the baby and save his wife, but let them both die. And he made the decision to kill the wife and do the C-section because it's
no, but that was fucking. They split that.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's medieval times. It's medieval times.
Yeah.
So they don't have that shit. So that was the modern time doing it. So. And she's sitting there screaming. I'm squinting in bed like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, because she's like screaming and you can hear it. And I'm looking at his face. And then just for the baby to turn around and not even make it, you just lost. Gambling on you lost everything. And I was like, holy shit, this is fucking good.
Right. Well,
but like I said, what was the line where he got up? At the table,
my wife and son have died. I will not entertain the crows come to feast.
My wife and son have died. I will not entertain the crows come to feast upon their corpses. That fucking shit. I'm a dialogue guy, bro. That shit right there was so. When he said that, I said, God damn.
We'll see, but that's so the cool thing about this, and this is something that plays out in this episode, is you see the head of the Hightower family, the hand of the king, say to Daemon Targaryen, he says, basically, your wife's in the Vale, you need to go back to your wife. Blah, blah. He's trying to get Daemon Targaryen out of the way. That's what he's doing. You have to. That's the thing. You have to really infer with this show. They will not pull a Marvel and spoon feed you spoon feed you. So then he says his line of the men in the Vale fuck sheep and the women look twice as bad, right? But then turns around, challenges his son to a duel, beats him, then gets favor from his daughter, right? That's the most my balls are hanging out moment in his first episode, dude.
Yeah,
Shit like that happens all the time. And, I will say this, there are some controversies going on. So I'm going to address something really fast. The first controversy is, yes, from the story of A Dance of Dragons, Daemon, his niece is the main Targaryen girl. Yeah, they marry. They don't have kids. That's uncle and niece. Yes, they do. Targaryens are incestual. They have to be. Because that's their dragon blood, right? That's how fire does not burn them.
Right.
It's how they control the dragons. That's a thing that's going to happen. You are going to see cousin sleep with cousin and uncle with niece and this and that. And here's the thing about that. Y'all not watch the first episode of Game of Thrones?
Wait, I guess I'm confused. We're addressing what again?
That was a big controversy people were mad about.
People are mad about a fictional thing?
It's insinuated that we'll have an uncle and a niece on camera sleep together, have children, have a family together.
And you know what I say to that before even going into
it was an issue.
Why don't watch it?
Right. Well, but that's the thing. The first episode of Game of Thrones, you got brothers. Yeah. Also, don't watch it. Right. Another issue that people were having, and this was the biggest issue with the show. This is the second one, is the fact that they have a black Targaryen.
A lot of people's issue with it is, the Targaryens are decreed as
we've talked about this before. We've talked about this before. Not just that it's fantasy, it doesn't fit your agenda. I don't know about these problems because I've just now entered the House of Dragon space. I entered in last night. And see, I don't want to enter into the political conversations that the House of Dragon is surrounding.
Yeah, I want to find fans who just enjoy it.
Exactly. Because
I
hate fans that come into, they think they own that gatekeep and think that they own an IP. Listen, if it doesn't fit your agenda, then now you're upset. Again, I'm always going to bring this up. The same thing with Moses Ingram. That's why people in these toxic, racist Star Wars community, and I am a Star Wars massive Star Wars fan, but the fandom is toxic, and it's because when it doesn't fit your certain agenda, now you're pissed about it. Now I'm whining, and now I'm going to now send Moses Ingram, tell her that she's a diversity hire, and that she's a blackie, and she's this and she's that. Those are the same people that same group, that small but loud group, is the same group that has a problem with this man being black and being a Targaryen or whatever. And what I have to say to that is, fuck you. Don't watch it. That if you have a problem with it, don't fucking watch it. That's just how it goes. If it doesn't, and not these shows aren't made to fit your fucking agenda. As I've said so many fucking times in my recast of Charla statements, inclusion and representation are important. Yes, it is important for us, and even though he is the only nigga in the show, I'm gonna take him. And why am I going to take him? Because he's up there. That's fine. I don't care. We'll take that one. We'll take that one in there. But why? Because representation and inclusion are important.
Well, and you'll see it's kind of weird, and you'll see it in a lot of these fantasy shows. So you will see it when the Dornish people in Game of Thrones, when you're introduced to them more, they will be more Middle Eastern, right? Because they're the Dorns, they're from the desert, and every fantasy world's gonna have a desert with its people and this and that and the other. But there is a lot of, Tolkien never added blacks. He didn't. Tolkien did not, and it was a different time as well. I'll say that because Stan Lee forgot to add a black. He didn't have a lot of black representation for kids, and then said, "Oh shit," you know what I'm saying? He didn't think about it. I'm not giving them the slack, but I'm saying it does happen. But that's where we can come in and we can correct some of these things. No one's saying turn the entire Targaryen family black, Mexican, anything under the sun. But to have one of the Targaryens have black lineage, it's not that weird. It's really not. Get over it. Also, it's a fantasy world. That's my big thing.
It's all fantasy. That's what shit that pisses me off about some of the things that when people gatekeep about ignorant shit like that. It's fantasy. It's not real.
But so you definitely gonna watch the next episode now?
Oh hell yeah, I'm watching the next episode. I am invested in the show as of that one episode. I was invested in the show the first 10 minutes.
I gotta hop on it.
And like Stanima MC said, that's why I was talking about the childbirth scene. The childbirth scene made me. I was squirming. I was like, holy fuck. I was like, oh my god.
Like The Boys. Episode 1, Season 3.
Yeah. But okay, so first I want to address we are at a total of $85 donated for this stream.
Wow.
Again, we've never onto our Streamlabs. We've never had a donation before. Never. So to be seeing this from you guys, I'm kind of shook. It's kind of fucking.
No, that is crazy.
I'm gonna try not to get emotional over here because it's a big fucking deal.
It's crazy.
But I just wanted to shout that out. I appreciate all of you guys doing that. I'll shout you out at the end as well. But I'm just saying, y'all are wild in the comments.
While he's addressing this, like I said at the beginning, if your name is pinned in that top comment and everything, that is because we noticed that you're just a regular commenter and viewer, everything on the streams, videos, and everything. So we want to try and get back to you a couple things, just some comics, if anything. So we just want to try and get with you, find out what you like, what you dislike. Maybe we can even give you something you dislike, so every time you look at it, you can just remember us or something. I don't know. Yeah. You just want to come up with something.
Hey, so let me ask you this about Game of Thrones, or about House of Dragon real fast. Did you notice what was going on with old Hightower and his daughter?
Oh, yeah. How he's trying to get her to sleep with so she can board the... Yeah, I'm not stupid. Yeah, I paid attention to it.
Well, that's kind of but see, I like a character like let's talk about the black character. I can't think of his name. It's Sirwin, I think. So what he did was, and this is dubious, and I love it. So he first said, "There's an heir. Daemon Targaryen is the heir of the Targaryen family. There is a clear heir." Mm-hmm. He was fully in support of him, and everyone shot it down because he knew everyone would shoot it down. So then after everyone shoots it down, he goes, well, technically my wife. Yeah. That's the heavy level of manipulation of these shows is fucking golden. Yeah. That's what I love about it, because they're willing to do this shit where you got to think. It ain't Marvel where they're like, oh, we can't even try to dupe them out. It's
Yeah.
You got to think about what's going on in here.
Yeah, no, and I feel like if you have an ounce of intelligence, you can tell what's going on in the show. I mean, I figured that out with what he was doing with his daughter. The minute he called her in there and said, I want you. I mean, if you've watched shows, because I love these time period type shows, not just that. Like I like history shows for sure. Like Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth, that movie. Anytime you watch shows like this and you hear like somebody going to someone's chambers, you know what the fuck that means.
Yeah.
So, it's like I knew exactly what he was trying to do. I know what his mindset is by using his daughter to try to have her get pregnant by the king so that she can bore the new heir and that they can have their stake in the claim of being part of the.
He's doing shit
for
his grandkids.
It's manipulative. It's and I like villains like that. I like that manipulative ass shit. Like if you can, if you can.
Well, I will say this without spoiling too much, or spoiling anything. If this follows the path of Dance of Dragons, it's got some groundwork to cover. It's got some plots to lay. This is going to be a very bloody, very violent, very aggressive series.
Shit, that scene where the dude took the axe to dude's face when he was laying on the ground. I was like, holy fuck. There were so many moments I was like, fuck.
I gotta show you the Battle of the Bastards now.
But like I said, as always, question is for you guys. If you're watching House of Dragons, is it something you're interested in? If you haven't watched it as a first time viewer or somebody that's watched it less than 24 hours ago, I heavily suggest it. I really do. I suggest going to watch it, even if you have not seen
Lucky
Game
thing
of Thrones.
for me, I got 2 eps to watch tonight.
Yeah.
But I'll throw that out there, dude. I
great.
would recommend this to anyone. Even people who thought Game of Thrones was slow, because Game of Thrones fans, their only complaint so far has been it's too fast. So, like, it's a different pace. They change it up. It goes from first gear to second gear.
And if you're someone who hasn't watched Game of Thrones, join me, because neither have I.
Yeah, it's great.